Stanley is so fun. He's quite the character. Just like us, he goes through days and moods. Things that he likes and doesn't like, it changes over time. Oftentimes, I'll wake up and he is sleeping on the edge of my pillow, just sort of snuggled up against my head, and will wait there until I get up out of the bed and then leave the bed with me and kind of explore. And oftentimes when I'm working, he's sitting right next to me. I usually call him my little editor because he's looking over my shoulder and kind of checking out what I'm doing. I started volunteering and interning at a wildlife rehabilitation center, and we had someone call in and they mentioned that they saw a baby turkey vulture and they found him and brought him in, and it happened to be Stanley. He was just a couple of weeks old, a little pigeon, and had been injured and was likely going to be euthanized. So I took him home with me, and that was the beginning of our relationship. I think that sometimes people tend to have a different vision of pigeons just because we don't really have, while we might see them often in the streets, we don't often have like individual relationships. We don't have the opportunity to really see them. They tend to be a little bit more misunderstood. And I think a similar case are our chickens. A lot of times we think of chickens, living in huge flocks or on farms, and we don't get to see them sort of on that individual level. And so when you get to actually see an animal by itself, you really get to see their personality shine and get to see who they are, what they like, what they don't like. So as I became more and more interested in nature and birds, then I started to learn a little bit more about factory farming. I started to realize, especially with chickens, sort of the scale of the suffering, and decided that I could use my resources and my time a little bit better and sort of focus on helping animals. And that's when I started at the Humane League as a campaigner. So day in, day out, I work on campaigns where I'm asking companies like McDonald's, like Subway, Starbucks to change their welfare policies to reduce the suffering of these caring, smart, intelligent animals, hopefully reaching and teaching people about how special they really are. It makes me even more passionate about working and advocating for chickens, just getting to know Stanley and thinking about how he's sweet and kind and loves to snuggle. And these chickens likely are very similar and want the same thing. They just want to be loved and have comfort and food and explore. And I think about Stanley sort of being in these really horrible factory farms. And it just makes me more passionate about speaking up for these chickens and giving them a voice.